Welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills and today's segment of ShirleyLouFinance.com. I'm your host, Tia Young, with the real host of the hour, Shirley Luu, who is sitting right next to me and who is also rushing out of town within the hour. Today, we are going to talk about the positive impact that the Junior Achievement of Greater Washington has on our children from grades K through 12 with respect to critical thinking and problem-solving skills through financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. To help us navigate through the innovative programs and systems of the Junior Achievement of Greater Washington, please welcome Chelsea Soneira, Vice President of Development, and Kent Sneed, Director of Partnerships and Development. Welcome.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
So excited to be here.
Okay?
Oh, it was great. Yeah. Just hanging out with 5,000 of my closest buddies. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Shirley, let's start with you. What are you up to? You're making me host again, and then now you're running out in less than an hour?
Absolutely. Just this week alone, I've got about 5 events, over 500 folks. I've been speaking at 3 states just this week alone. It's crazy.
Wow.
But I'm really excited about them today, about the Junior Achievement. I was fortunate enough, attended one of the nonprofit event, and it was funny because I'm like, nonprofit, you should go, Shirley. I'm like, okay. All nonprofit are there, okay, Jay? Mm-hmm. Would you believe it? Not one single financial advisor were there. None of the financial advisors were attending the nonprofit event. So I was like the only lone wolf kind of, but I was so glad because through that partnership, I was introduced to them. And they said, hey, you're into the education. There's an awesome group called the Junior Achievement that you really need to get to know and all that. And I love what they do. The reason I love what they do is because I was one of the volunteers before I met them going to Junior Achievement at your facilities, And my daughter, she's 14 years old, and she participated in that program where the middle school learning about money and finance and budgeting. Mm-hmm. And so Jade, of course,
yes.
She was there, and at the end of the day, I asked all the kids, so what you learn? Here's 3 things a kid learned. My daughter, she goes, Mom, I try my best. But you know what, Mom? At the end of the day, I can only get the car. My husband had to walk and take the bus. That's great. And then, of course, there was another kid said, well, my wife is only going to have $11 budget for a pair of shoes. I said, good luck, kids. So that was the second one. And the other one was like, I'm a single mom with 1 kid struggling, because one of your criteria was doing that. And so that was what's so neat. And that kid's like, yeah, I'm a single mom. Another kid goes, so you get child support. And this kid said, not according to this scenario. And he goes, yes, you do. If you don't, they go to jail. Anyway, so the program is so dynamic. It opened the kid's eye because what I do is the financial services, and I felt I want to partner with the Junior Achievement. How do we tag team each other and get this education out? So here we are.
Very good. Well,
amazing story.
I'm going to start out with Chelsea and Kent on something that has touched my heart a lot. And the employers, teachers, and professors, parents are saying that the nation's college graduates are not prepared for 21st century skills to be successful in the workplace. Many of the dropouts are saying that they're leaving school because they don't believe that they're learning things that would matter to them in the future. Is that true?
From our experience, it is true.
Can you tell us a little bit about
heard that?
Because I didn't think things were that bad. I knew they were bad, but I didn't think they were that bad.
I think there's a huge disconnect, and we see it all the time in the classrooms, between what students are learning and what they see that they can apply in the real world, especially when you take a look at how people are earning money these days, the kind of the celebrity money earners, the people who are making it big in the tech industry, the sports people, all of the exposure that the kids have to just quick, fast results. Mm-hmm. And that's really not the case in reality. In reality, you have to learn something, you have to see how you can apply it in the real world, you have to be nimble and adjust to it. And I think we have a bit of a kind of a disconnect in the expectations there. But at the same time, we've seen over the past 10 to 15 years such an introduction of a focus on testing in schools, right, that there's been a draw away from focusing on how all of this applies in the real world. And so what we've seen, at least when we talk to the employers that we work with, when we talk to schools, and our favorite thing, of course, is to talk to the students.
Absolutely.
They ask us, why am I even learning this? Why is this math important to me? And I was someone who always said I was bad at math. I wish I'd never said that, right? Because I wasn't taking a look at the skills that I actually had and thinking about how I could apply them in the future. But I know I was one of those kids, and when I hear it, it breaks my heart because from our perspective and from what our program does, we bring that relevancy back into the classroom. And so when we bring volunteers into the classroom, or we bring corporate people or parents into the classroom or into one of our facilities, it's to hear the students make that statement, or to teach the students something and nip it in the bud and say, this is exactly how it applies. This is how I've seen myself using this skill. Right. And for us, part of the solution to that is bringing that relevance back into the classroom, showing the kids what their pathway to the career is, or just showing them that it matters that you stay in school because of the resources that you can get and the skills that you can learn.
Right. Kent, in your opinion, how can junior achievement build that bridge to success?
I think we can do a variety of things that we're currently doing at Junior Achievement, and one of the main ways we can really bridge that gap to success is what Chelsea touched upon, is bringing that experiential learning inside the classroom and making sure the students understand how relevant it is to make that transition to the workforce. So all of our programs are really designed for students to get a grasp of what it's really like in the workforce in that particular industry. And we do that by, like we mentioned, just bringing those real life adult volunteers, or we call them adult role models, into the classroom. And students get to see firsthand that the skills that they're learning in the classroom and how they can apply that to the future, as well as when they go through the workforce. And that is, that's big. And so these hands-on experiential learning opportunities that we're always looking for at Junior Achievement is something that we pride ourselves on, because that's what really makes a difference where the rubber meets the road for a lot of our students. And we're just so grateful to work with our partners to be able to provide that experience for our students.
You mentioned experiential learning. What do you mean by that? Is that where they're bringing things from home and trying to apply that into your classrooms?
Yeah, I mean, so that saying can mean a lot of things when it comes to junior achievement. One of the things which we really pride ourselves on is our facility called JA Finance Park. That is kind of the epitome of experiential learning, where we bring students out of the classroom and bring them to our facility. We pair them with a volunteer from the community, and we have them go through the day on a tablet and really experience what it's like to have a family income, how to manage a family income, and how to balance their budget and pay their bills effectively. And really introducing these financial concepts at a basic level to build that foundation so they can understand all the costs associated with managing a typical household budget.
Chelsea and Kent, what are your core values? And are these values simple and clear enough to reach that youngest child? I think you started in kindergarten. So are those values, are they able to grasp the core values that you have?
Yeah, so I mean, the first value in JA is belief in the boundless potential of young people. And so many times young people in their lives get shut down and are not able to achieve their potential for one reason or another. But our programs, when we bring these role models into the classroom, we are literally saying, you can do this, you can learn this, you can practice it right here in front of us in a safe environment and get some feedback, and you can actually do this, and we'll give you the steps to succeed. So I think that translates, whether it's a kindergartner, whether it's a 12th grader, whether it's in our facilities or in the workplace when we send them out on a job shadow. We do believe that experiential learning is the way to go. You described it beautifully. It is, you learn better when you're doing things rather than when people just tell you how to do things. And so that same thing, that's the exact way we teach when we're in the kindergarten classroom or the 12th grade classroom.
Right. Shirley, you mentioned earlier that you were there doing volunteer. Were you volunteering with the financial literacy work, or were you doing other types of volunteering?
Yeah, they gave me a core group of kids, be responsible.
And those are the ones?
Yeah, those are the ones. But two of the things that I have kind of seen that I wish you could expand upon, it was, of course I was in a room with also a couple parents that were helping me guiding these kids along. And some of the parents were saying, man, I wish I have this. Because you get the kids and you get the adults. So I'm hoping junior achievement would be broad enough, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to connect with them, because it's so important. Even the adults learning on that piece of it, they're like, wow, you know. So that was a really critical stuff that I wish that we could press upon, you know, for the kids. And I think what you guys do is amazing. I think it's such a needed. There are people, after I rave about you guys in other states, and they're like, oh, how do we get one here, you know? And so I know you got your hands full. It takes a lot of work and effort, you know, on your behalf. And it's just a lot of admiration for junior achievement. It's something that my company, again, especially, I want to be a partner with in the very near future with different capacity on that, you know?
Oh, wonderful.
Ken, are the children coming from all spheres of life? I mean, are they like inner city? Are there children that are coming from other countries and maybe they only been here for 3 or 4 months and maybe not speaking very good English? Do you have a blend of children? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
And how do you keep everybody?
Well, our programs are essentially, we get about 36,000 of our students every single year through systematic partnership with the school system. And so we partner with Fairfax County Public School System, Montgomery County Public School System, Prince George's County Public School System, and even in Washington, D.C. in the district. And so with that, there's a diverse group of students that are obviously a part of the base there. But you know, the program is designed for its age-appropriate curriculum, K through 12. So regardless of, you know, their background or socioeconomic status, the program is designed to benefit the students.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you handle, because I hear a lot of this, friends, I have teachers that are in the school system, and they talk about the bullying. How do you handle that? Do you ever get that?
You know, one of the cool things I think about our program is that it's not ever just a JA person delivering a curriculum in a bubble without any interaction from the teacher. This is a partnership with the teacher and the JA volunteer. And that's really important, because the teacher who's delivering all of the lessons to the students and who knows their background and who knows their histories and who knows what sets them off or makes them happy, that teacher's always in the classroom or always at the facility with us. So if we ever have an issue that comes up, whether it's in a facility or elsewhere, our volunteers' main job is to provide guidance to the students on how to integrate their instruction into real life. But the teacher's also there always to support. We have every issue in the world come up because we talk about economics. So politics comes in, religion comes in, family life comes in, personal struggles come in. All of that comes in, and we in our volunteer training and in our teacher training, we really operate from an environment of inclusiveness and thoughtfulness, but also being respectful of where those students are coming from.
Right. And are the children eager and willing to share, or do you have to find ways of drawing them into discussions?
I think it's your average classroom.
Yeah,
you know,
it is like that.
We have found that they're much more involved with JA programs because they see the relevancy.
In that, okay, very good. Shirley?
Yes. Well, I took just one step further. Sometime I now go work with the high school.
Yeah.
So I talk to the principal and I bring real student, spend a day or 2 days with me, the entire day. For those who wanted to really truly learn about the financial, and if it's a career they want to enter as well. So I do what's called job shadowing with them.
Yeah.
So the whole day, oh my God, they get to go to lunch, they give me the other executive, they get real hands-on of conversation, negotiation at the table. And it's been working out, and I'm joint partnership with the Tyson's Corner Chamber on that. And it's been
That's great.
It's been great every year. Last year, Channel 7 came in and videotaping some of the stuff and said, wow, this is neat that you guys are doing, you know, and so.
So you really do embrace the experiential learning too. Job Shadow is such a phenomenal thing.
It's great, you know.
That's good. We talked a little bit about your partners. Kent, tell us about your partners. Who are your partners and how do you work with them?
So one of the great things about Junior Achievement Greater Washington is basically being based in here in Washington, D.C. Because we have such a robust kind of corporate landscape here. Our partners range from a variety of different industries. Capital One, in regards to our JA Finance Parks, that is our capstone program, our 2 facilities we have in Prince George's County as well as in Fairfax County, is our signature sponsor at both facilities. But we tend to partner with a lot of organizations that are in that financial services realm, obviously because it just seems to obviously make sense when we're talking about financial literacy or entrepreneurship for them to partner with Junior Achievement, because that's obviously a part of our main pillars.
Right.
But our partners are phenomenal. Not only do they obviously provide us financial support, but they do in fact provide us with the volunteer manpower we need to really operate our programs and really to reach the 66,000 students we reach on an annual basis. And so they are kind of the backbone and the bread and butter to what we're doing at Junior Achievement, because without them, we couldn't have the impact or the reach.
Probably.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they are phenomenal, and they are the reason why we've been so successful.
Right. Well, we're going to take a short station break. We'll be right back with more discussion about how the Junior Achievement of Greater Washington has transformed the lives of thousands of young people.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching today's segment of ShirleyLouFinance.com with special guests Kim Sneed and Chelsea Soneira of the Junior Achievement of Greater Washington. Kent, this next question is for you. A couple of months ago, I had the pleasure, through Shirley, of visiting the center. I was so impressed. I thought I had walked into a mall.
Yes.
And I think the first thing I saw was a credit union there. Can you talk about some of the hubs that you have there?
Yeah, so what you're referring to is called JA Finance Park, which I kind of touched upon earlier, and that is our capstone program at Junior Achievement. And essentially, we have a partnership with Fairfax County Public School Systems, and we were able to build a financial literacy center in 2010. And in partnership with the school system, we are able to go into the classroom, provide 14 hours of the in-classroom curriculum based on financial literacy, kind of the basic foundation. Teach students the difference between a credit card and a debit card, just kind of the basic, and kind of work that up. And essentially, once they get done with the 14 hours of the in-classroom curriculum, we will have every 8th grade classroom take a field trip to JA Finance Park. And that was the facility you visited. And this is a fantastic experience. We give each student a tablet. And on this particular tablet, the students become become adult for the day.
Their own tablet?
Their own tablet.
Oh.
So every single student gets a tablet. On that tablet, they get a profile, an adult profile. So we will give them a salary, a job. We'll give them a career, of course. We'll give them a family, education debt, and it's their job to go about the day and learn about all the various line items in an adult budget and to balance that budget before they leave.
Wow.
So that is the JA Finance Park experience. That's what that you experienced. Obviously, Shirley, you volunteer there as well. Yes. And we operate like a school. So we have students in the building almost every single day during the school year.
Really?
And in Fairfax, we're right around 15 to 16,000 students annually. In Prince George's County, we built a facility in 2015. We're in our 3rd year of operation there. We reached right around 10,000 students. And we are very fortunate and excited to open up our 3rd JA Finance Park in Montgomery County on top of the Thomas Edison building on the 4th floor. And we're hopeful to reach roughly 12,000 students in our 1st year operation there. So, we're really ecstatic to have these particular facilities, to have this strategic partnership with the school system, because we're really making a difference, and students are really getting understand that grasp of what's really important, how to manage the family budget.
So walk me through, I noticed that you had a really, really nice auditorium.
Yes.
So walk me through what happens. The school is responsible for bringing the children to your center.
Correct.
At a particular time.
Yes.
And is that first stop the auditorium, or?
Yeah, so we tried to design it, and when we were designing the finance parks, and Chelsea kind of correct me if I'm wrong here, the idea was that we wanted to design it so when the students entered the actual facility, they went straight into the auditorium. We want to kind of make it a big reveal for them. They understand kind of obviously in principle what they're doing for the day at the finance park, but to actually experience the space and really see it is quite exciting for the students. So we want to kind of be able to hide that and kind of funnel them in the auditorium, which seats about 125 to 150 students. We'll go through our orientation. We'll kind of let them know of what are the steps for the day, what's the day going to look like, and we will pair them with a volunteer in a particular storefront. And we try our best not to let the students into the facility without getting a loud roar, because this is a field trip for them. We want this to be exciting and fun for the students. A lot of times they view it as a field trip. And so, we found a way to make building a budget fun. And so we captured that.
Fun and educational.
Fun and educational as well. We captured that, and we kind of duplicated that, obviously, around the region at each finance park. But the auditorium is definitely a great start of the day, where we kind of get the energy going for the students and really focus on making it a fun opportunity, fun day for the students. Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah.
Chelsea, do you have any testimonies that you could give of students who have been at the center for a few years? Maybe they've graduated and gone on. And can you talk a little bit about some of the good stories?
Yeah, I love Shirley's story so much. We have, I'll talk about one of the short-term ones. So at the end of the day, the students go into our College and Career Center, and they learn about what's next. I mean, you have to say, this is what I understand now, and this is how I'm going to apply it in the future. But there's also a chalkboard wall around the entire room where they get to write their takeaways from the day. And universally, it's kids are expensive. I need to thank my parents. Yes. I need to have a good job. I didn't realize things weren't free, and I didn't know you had to pay for that, and that. Wow. Which are great things, but I think the things that warm our heart the most are when we get the feedback from the parents. And I remember, I don't know if you do, we got a text message, a screenshot of a text message last year, and it was all caps. We didn't even understand it when it came through because it had zero context. It was all caps. OMG, thanks, Mom. I never realized what you did, and I've never thanked you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
It's amazing. And you can go on our website, you can see pictures of the chalkboard just to see what the kids' immediate takeaways are. Wow. But then we also have statistics because we go back and we look at our alumni and see where they are and see how this has changed their lives. So I would encourage everybody to go to myja.org just to see all the feedback because everything's some on really the website. Good stuff. Yeah. There's some great pictures of that on the
that's
website.
Right.
Yeah.
Shirley, you're a financial guru. If you had a group of fifth graders to come to your office, what would you teach them?
Well, first, I gotta teach them the understanding, as you grow older, before you can start saving anything, it's important to understand what your budget, and then what. And also, I try to teach them also education is such an important piece, foundation, even finishing high school, because without that, even though this is just a sheet of paper, it is an important sheet of paper. But one of the things that they forgot to tell you probably that I impressed the most is this. Before the student goes there, my daughter had to do preliminary work at the school. So the school itself are making the kids to do some basic fundamental things. Like my daughter came home, she said, Mom, what in the heck is a FICA tax? What is federal taxes? What are the income taxes? I said, well, you make this. So I try to break it down she goes, that's crazy, that's too much taxes.
How old was she when that happened?
Just last year, 13.
Oh,
She was 13 years old.
Yes.
But I wish, and I hope one day where you guys could expand the GROW program, even explain furthermore. It's one thing that, you've got this basic fundamental, but there's a lot of things involved down the road when it comes to your money. Things like I know we don't talk a lot about it. It's life insurance. What happens if one person happens to get hurt, get sick, or death, and that leave devastated? And of course, the reason my passion about that is because, my husband had passed away and left me with 3 kids with no insurance. You know what I mean? So that it's right at the heart, and I want to be able to explain it's not just about making money, but once you lost an income and you're hurt, you're in trouble.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that is true. That's very true. Let's say someone is looking at our show, and they're thinking, "Oh wow, this would be a great program for my child to be a part of." What is it that they would have to do in order to get their child enrolled into one of your programs?
I think the best thing to do is just call us, to be honest.
They can call you direct.
They can call us directly. There are so many different circumstances that every family is in. We can give them things to work on at home. We can work with their school. We can see if their child is already scheduled to come to Finance Park. Just reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk it through.
And you'll talk to them on that end. Good. Absolutely. Shirley?
Yeah, no, I think it's important, for the parents and everyone else, because people do ask me all the time, how do we get into the program? And with your suggestion. I think I'm going to do that, because as I go out there, and I'll be honest with you, I would love to have my clientele that have their kids to understand the program. It'd be cool if we can work some way somehow and say, okay, on this day, this month, it's open to the public. You know what I mean? But yet have volunteer, whether it's from my company or from other company, but yet use your resource to teach the same way. Maybe that's an idea.
We can absolutely work on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about how the parents, I know we talked a little bit about that at the top of the show, but how engaged are the parents? Is it hard to get parents to come out and support what you do? And are they volunteers? Do they turn into volunteers, or how does that work?
I don't think, I think universally almost every parent that we've spoken with has agreed that this is important.
Absolutely.
I think it is hard for a lot of people when they feel like they're not financial experts themselves to come and be prepared to speak about it. And so one of the things that we do for parents is empower them to be able to do that. We always say you don't need to be a financial expert. It's great if you are, but if you're an adult and you've paid a bill, you've had to make a choice. And you can talk to kids about that. And then we tell parents the same thing when they go home. Look for those teachable moments. You will see that you're actually a teacher more often.
So you're kind of training them.
Oh, we do.
How to interact with their children better.
We certainly do.
That's good.
And we're happy to talk to any parents if anybody has any questions about that. We're absolutely happy to, too.
Right. Well, Shirley, do you have anything else?
I mean, I would say one thing. It's important when people said, you need to save. You need to start thinking about saving. And they tell me, I can't afford to save. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Even as an adult, if you're working right now and you can't afford to save, imagine when you're unemployed.
That's a very good point.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, that's good. Well, the clock on the wall says that we're almost out of time. I want to thank you both so much for coming out, and we certainly invite you to come back and share with us about all the good things that you're doing in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our time, as I said earlier, is up, but we hope that you have sincerely enjoyed our discussion with Chelsea and Kent of the Junior Achievement of Greater Washington. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so it is incumbent upon each one of us to do all that we can to support organizations who are reaching out to our children to strengthen skills in personal finance, business, and how to survive in our ever-changing world. You're watching Skills to Pay the Bills and today's segment of Shirley Luu Finance. See you next week with another great segment. Bye-bye.